Hi budget babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here or returning, it is Jaliyah.Kreationz. Today guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to set up a savings. So basically in this budget today, we're going to create a sinking fund or talk about our savings tracking jar using the budget planner. I had a lot of questions about the savings tracking jar. I feel like I have an example of me using the savings tracking jar, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to be recording that video so you guys have this just for a reference here. I did laminate my planner just because I do a lot of budgets and I actually like to use my planner so you guys that have the planner can feel at home. Sometimes I use my digital planner. The digital planner is nice as well, but nothing hits different than pen and paper. So I'm going to be using a marker and my laminated sheets. You guys can laminate your planner by buying the sheets and doing it yourself, but I don't recommend laminating the planner because you want to go back and see how you did each month. So to keep track, I didn't laminate the whole planner, just the sheets I used repetitively. But we're going to jump straight into it. I just want to answer that question. Calculators are now available for pre-order, you guys. So if you haven't pre-ordered your calculator, make sure you pre-order your calculator. Let's get straight into it. We're going to be doing my girl Jody's budget. Okay guys, so we're just going to be doing a regular monthly budget. If you want to break it down to weekly, by all means you can. Planners can be purchased at Jaliyah.Kreationz.com. I'm always going to shout myself out there. So we're going to be doing my girl Jody's budget. Her goal is to build savings. So I like to do different examples that are not always the same because everybody's goals are different. Some of my clients, some of you guys are working on paying off debt. Some of you guys are already debt free. You're working on your savings. Some of you guys don't have a lot of bills, so you're planning on how to get your bills together when you do get bills. Some of you guys are just trying to get out of the cycle of paycheck to paycheck. So everyone's situation is different, guys. If you have a certain example that you would like to see, please never hesitate to put it in the comments because 10 times out of 10 I have that example. I try to give you guys 2 videos a week. Some videos with budget examples, some about my business, my products, things like that. But if you need extra things, just let me know in the comments, guys, so I can make sure I'm meeting your needs so everyone can get what they need. All right, let's get straight into it. So Jody has a monthly income here of $36.70. So we're going to talk about our 2 different type of expenses, our fixed versus our variable. Fixed are going to be our expenses that are usually the same every month: rent, mortgage, phone bills, Wi-Fi, car insurance, car payments. All of that's going to go under our fixed. Utilities, you're going to put how much you average. Then our variables, which are expenses that vary: gas, groceries, credit cards, eating out, personal care, all those things in there. So I'm going to go through and fill up the fixed expenses and speed this up real quick. All right, perfect budget babe. So now we went through and wrote down all the fixed expenses and our variables. I noticed my bracelet wasn't on, you guys, so I had to put it on. You guys know I'm an aesthetic queen, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and add up all of our expenses and see how much it costs to be Jody for the month. I did forget that she did have 1 credit card, but the balance on the credit card is fairly small. So we're gonna knock that out right away, and then we'll start talking about building the savings. So let's go ahead and add up our fix here. So we got $13.96 plus $3.10 plus $192 plus $69 plus $365 plus $180 is going to total our fixed expenses to $25.12. So $25.12 here is our total for our fix. Now let's go ahead and add up our variables. 200 plus 200 plus 50 plus 60 is going to be 510. So 510 plus 2512 is going to total us to 3022. Now we're going to go ahead and find our cash surplus, which is going to be our full income, which is 3670 minus 3022. It's going to give us $648 left over after our bills and expenses. So $648 is how much we have left over after our bills and expenses. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what the balance is on this credit card, get this credit card paid off, and then we're going to build our savings. So let's look at the balance on this credit card. All right, you guys, so we're going to be using the debt tracker page today. I'm not quite sure what the creditor is, but we're just going to say credit card. So this one you will actually put the creditor and all that stuff. I don't know what the limit is, but I do know our starting balance that we have left on the card is $986. So you can fill in all this information, you know, put all this in as you would like to do. But our goal is to pay this off by March here. So our payoff is by March. Our starting balance is $986. Our minimum payment each month is $50. So our goal is we have $648. So we're going to go ahead and write our cash surplus. So remember, guys, our cash surplus is the money we have left over after our bills and expenses. Our cash surplus at the end of each month is $648. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our full cash surplus for the next 2 months towards our debt. So put our full cash surplus towards debt. And this is going to help us reach our goal to pay this off by March. So we're going to say this is still January here when I did this budget. So the end of the month, our cash surplus is going to be $648. So instead of just paying the $50 minimum, we're going to put $648 towards the balance of $986. So we're going to take $986 and we're going to minus this by $648. So $986 minus a payment of $648. Oopsie. So we're still paying this $50 minimum, you guys. We're going to use that as our interest barrier. That will cover any interest. So we're putting extra money plus, you know, the minimum here. So this will now bring our balance the next month down to $338. So what we're going to do here, we're going to, starting February, at the end of February, we are going to put our full cash surplus, which is $648, and we're going to pay off the balance. So we're going to take $648, which is our cash surplus, and we're going to minus this by $338. So $648 minus $338 is going to be $310 that gets to go in our savings. And just like that, we paid off the card. So starting March, our balance would be 0. Our balance would be 0. And it's going to be paid off. So guys, you would do the same process every time you're using your debt checker. So I don't go over this page a lot on my live because it's based off, you know, when you actually have the planner and you're using it each week. So this is how we would set up the payment. I recommend using 1 page per debt if you're working on paying off one at a time, so you can write down each time you make a payment there. When you're just doing your regular budget, just pay your minimums if you have multiple cards, but you're always going to prioritize paying off one depending on what debt payment plan I have you on. Some of you guys have a few credit cards, but I have you starting with paying off 1 card at a time, doing the snowball method, your smallest to your biggest, depending on how big your cash surplus is. And then other ones, I have you paying off your debt depending on whatever it is, you know, vice versa. So boom, once that is paid off, you guys, we no longer have to pay this $50 minimum. So $648 plus $50 is going to give us $698. So $698 is going to be our new cash surplus. So at the end of each month, our starting balance is going to be $698. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this as March because this is when this will be paid off. Our starting balance equals cash surplus at the end of each month. So let's say we stick to this budget for another 12 months here. So $698 times 12 months will roughly have about $83.75 in our savings by the end of the year. So this is going to look different depending on what your savings goal is. So we can also do this thing called a sinking funds. What is a sinking funds? A sinking funds is basically going to be giving our savings a purpose. So the same way we give our money and our income a purpose, we give our savings a purpose. So I can't remember exactly what Jody is saving for, but let's say she's saving for retirement. So we're going to save a retirement and emergency fund. And let's say she's saving for a vacay. And let's say she has kids she's saving for. So what she can go ahead and do, I'm just doing an example. Jody, if you're watching this, I don't know what your sinking funds is. I'm just doing something off the top of my head. We take this $698 and we divide it into categories. So let's say out of this $698, we want to just split it even. So that means each month $174 is going into each category. And you could change this as needed. So that way, you know, like how you put cash envelopes, you're just doing it in your bank account. I recommend opening a high yield savings account. High yield savings account to build interest. So that way you have $698 in your savings account. You're putting this aside each month. It's building interest and you're getting a % back onto your money each month. So budget babes, I hope this made sense. I just wanted to do a budget where we showed an example of how to set up a sinking funds and also how to use your debt tracker for anybody that may be in the same position. So this is Jody's budget we set for the month. We went ahead and paid off our debt here. And then we also put money in our sinking funds. So I hope this helped anyone that may be in this position, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, please make sure you guys leave them in the comments below. Thank you again, budget babes, for watching. Bye.